What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another reaction with your boy. Today, in this video, we are reacting to Cenat ruin the Subathon. I don't know how, but we about to figure it out.
What's poppin', yo? I wanted to talk about my take that Cenat ruined the Subathon, and this isn't entirely hate because I am happy that.
So, 3 seconds, 4 seconds in, you already saying that you're a hater? This isn't entirely hate. That sounds like a hater.
Cenat broke his own record 3 separate times. Or, yeah, I would say broke his own record twice, broke the record 3 separate times. And the fact that he hit 1 million subs, regardless of how someone was able to do it, breaking barriers is something I'll always give a round of applause for, or give applause for. However, the concept of a subathon has changed so much, and I just want to reminisce a little bit on what a subathon was versus what it is now. And not only is it very corporate now, but even the base of what a subathon is something that Cenat was instrumental in changing for what I believe the worst. So the subathon initially, what it was is, hey, look, you have this timer, a sub or a donation counts to this much time added to the clock. And it was a game. It became a game to where the streamer would have interaction with the fans, and the fans could have interaction and a little bit of power over the streamer. Now, I may or may not be able to find the clip of Bruce Drop 'em Off talking about his own subathon. I think it was like the DEO-a-thon like years ago, but he was, and I'll just paraphrase, he was saying that he does not want to do another subathon and he couldn't stand doing a subathon. A lot of the time, the reason why streamers would do a subathon is their stream would bully them into it or ask for it consistently, or the streamers wanted to make like a big injection of cash. But what would happen is...
So basically, is a subathon like a way to beg for money, basically? Or is it just like a way for the viewers to have control over the streamer, like the person?
That it would get to a point where the streamer, and this is what Bruce Drop 'em Off was talking about, they had no idea how long the subathon was going to last. And this is the thing, it was like an uncapped subathon. So it could last a day, it could last a week, it could last several weeks, or it could last indefinitely. And that's something that Ludwig did. Ludwig was the first person, I believe, to break this record and get hundreds of thousands of subs. His subathon went on, I believe it was for 40 something days.
40 days?
I'll probably check the actual days that it went for. It actually went for 31 days. So it seemed like Ludwig capped his out. But there are a couple of other streamers that didn't cap it out when they did a subathon. For example, this girl Athena, she streamed for over 1,000 hours straight, which was about 47 days. The Panda TV had streamed for 840 hours straight. And then there was this individual by the name of Poppy Eric that did a 45-day subathon. And the longest running subathon is actually by a girl named Emily CC, which is 1,416 days. And this took a toll on many streamers. So there was a bit of anticipation and a bit of dread when it came to the subathon. So that's the first thing that I wouldn't say Cenat did that first, because Ludwig capped his at 30 days, but Cenat capping it is one of the things that changed it. So it's like, okay, you'll know, and the viewer knows that this is going to end in 30 days. There's no anticipation. There is no like anxiousness. There is no fear of the unknown on the streamer's behalf. He knows, hey, this is going to end in 30 days. And on top of that, the old subathons didn't plan a ton of stuff. So sometimes they do a charity stream or a subathon where they would have things that they...
Can you be mad though? Like, I feel like him having stuff planned is better for the viewer. Like, okay, this is going to happen. We're going to go do this, and this. Yeah, we don't have a breakdown for you so you can go see which one. That might be cool, where they have like a set, like a flyer and they post it every day of what's gonna happen today. That'll be cool. But sitting at the desk and just letting shit rock is fake boring. Shout out to Kai. Like, he made that shit fun. That nigga turned vlogging into streaming. Like, he brought vlogging into streaming, because most of the stuff he do 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago would have been a vlog. Simple as that.
Not want to do on the list. So things that they were like, hopefully we don't hit this goal because I don't want to do this. For Kai Cenat, Mafiathon 3, it was getting his hair cut by LeBron James. Kai Cenat was going to cut his hair anyway, most likely. But adding LeBron James to it, it's like this goal that people have to reach versus the goal having been in the past is a perpetual ongoing one, which is let's keep this person up. It's almost like
I believe that Kai was gonna cut his hair regardless. Like, you can only have dreads for oh so long before they start pulling your hair back. So I think he was gonna cut his hair anyway. But so what? Like, it made it a thing for people to be like, damn, we about to see LeBron. LeBron's never been on a stream. Like, in this type of setting. It's lit, duh. We could actually see LeBron on some like live
24-hour streams too. Like fans, they would encourage the
It'd have been lit.
streamers to
LeBron
do a
spent the
24-hour,
night.
but the streamer usually didn't want to do a 24-hour. They're like, I don't want to be live for 24 hours. So that's also something else. And then you get people like FaZe doing the subathon, and then it just turns into this whole produced. It's almost as if like, you know, when we were kids and there was a Disney Channel, and then they would have like Halloween, every Halloween show and thing going on in October. That's somewhat what these guys are doing for a month. Like you get FaZe doing it, and they've got a whole content calendar planned, and they know the guests that they're going to bring.
But I feel like this is low-key hate because, like, isn't that good for the viewers? Like, what's good for the viewer? Forget, like, when Disney was doing it, from his explanation, Disney had Halloween episodes all month of October. Cool. That makes sense. In December, they had all Christmas movies. Cool. That makes sense. November, they had Thanksgiving stuff. Cool. That makes sense. Isn't that good for the viewer? Because now they're thinking it's current with their time. No? Or like
Jesus case, they kind of did like for the UK guys will understand. They did the B-Tech version of Kai Cenat's subathon when it came to guests, since they weren't really able to get many. And then you've got Kai Cenat also paying people to show up on stream. So it becomes like he took it to the next level, but it just becomes this thing where it's like, is this what the expectation of a subathon is? Now the definition is being changed. And part of that is when Kai Cenat would do like these power hours when subs and donations, mainly subs, would count more for time than at any other part of the marathon. And this was something that a lot of people they had a problem with it because it's like, dog, the point of the subathon is for the timer to go down and the anticipation of the fans and them wanting the stream to go on, encouraging them to sub. Yet you doing this power hour thing, it's almost as if you are the one that's scared that the subathon is going to end, and then you need to do something to incentivize people to sub. And that's like everything is backwards at that point. And it's for sure he was anxious because you're going to be anxious when the timer's running low and your subathon's about to end on day 17 or day 16, whenever that day was, when your goal is to hit 1 million subs. Usually with subathons, there wasn't a goal for a sub. They were just like, hey, let's just see how this goes. But with Kai Cenat, there was a goal in mind, and there has been a goal in mind since he wanted to break the record. Even with Ludwig, he didn't really have a goal of like, oh, break the world record. It just happened that way. And this tweet, it reads it out on September 15th. So what, 15 days into it? I guessed right. He says, last hour on the timer for Mafiathon. Here we go. It's time to call everyone. Get in here. This is the first power hour used this month where all subs are double the time. So you have this button that you can press where you can change the rules to incentivize people to sub, but it helps you. So what happens?
But it also helps the viewer. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I get what he's saying. Like, oh, the streamer is the reason why the subathon is going. Yes, but like it helps the viewer too, because now you could just watch more content from your favorite streamer.
As if you need more time, you're going to make it worth 4 times the amount of time per sub. And this is something that I don't think enough people called out or had their own perspective on, because I wouldn't say it's cheating because there's no set rules of like, yo, this is exactly what a subathon is. There was just an agreed upon, unspoken rule list. But this I found quite egregious because 15 days in, Kai Cenat was delivering outstanding levels of entertainment. And let's not mince words. Let's not allow for people to potentially misread what I'm saying. What Kai Cenat did was outstanding in terms of entertainment value. A sub, it is for sure worth at least a subscription, or $5, $6, $7, $8, however much it costs, especially if you enjoy the guy's content for what he delivered. But what's sad is that 15 days in, you've got an hour timer and you're scared that the hour timer is going to go down despite all of the entertainment, all of the celebrity guests, all of the different segments, and operating this 24/7. What does that tell you? Well, frankly, it tells me that people weren't that excited to financially support. Maybe a lot of people are kids that don't.
I felt like around that time, like, there was a lot of like hate to Kai. There was a lot of like, oh, this is a begathon, this is a this, that. So like people were kind of hesitating to like send a little bread. And before, it was never like that, because when he was in his crib, he was hitting all the goals, the 100Ks, 200Ks, 300Ks, 400Ks, and everything he was doing then he did. Everything he was doing back then he did on the subathon. Now, it's just at a bigger scale because it's the last one and all the like hoopla behind it. I think that's why they was kind of just hating on it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Have access to that level of money. Maybe it's a lot of international people that may not have access to that money. I don't know. But I've seen subathons that lasted longer than this, and they didn't have to do power hours, and they were streamers that were a tenth of the size of Kai Cenat. And it's just because their community really wanted.
But when you're Kai, you gotta make sure that shit go your way, and then now you got way more haters. Like, you got way more haters.
And granted, they weren't chasing hundreds of thousands of subscribers, which is the point that Kai Cenat was at for September 15th. And I think Kai Cenat recognizes that, and that's why he made it his last Mafiathon. He knew when to leave, and this is the thing. Like, he stretched it a bit for this one, and a bunch of people that are even affiliated with Kai Cenat say that Mafiathon 3 was not their favorite. Like, for example, his
Mafiathon
assistant even said that. I'm gonna play you guys the clip right now.
Was Mafiathon 3 your favorite one? No. I think Kai said that it was his favorite one. Me, it was not my favorite one at all. But
I think 2 was the one.
I would say maybe I'm just stuck on nostalgia of stuff, but I would say 2 is probably my favorite.
2 was gas. 2 was gas.
1 is like very sentimental to me. You know what I mean? 1 is really like.
But 1 was the first one, so I get it.
It really means a lot to me. Mafiathon 1, Mafiathon 2, it was just like, I don't know. It was just different. Mafiathon 3, it was amazing, of course, but it wasn't my favorite. How was the food? The food was fire. Chef B and Kaya did their.
So even her, who's worked on all of the Mafiathons and has been there for all of the Mafiathons, she's saying that 3 isn't her favorite. And she says 3 is Kai Cenat's favorite, but that's because Kai Cenat, he did it big. And I really, really, really like Kai Cenat for knowing to end it here. Because where do you go from here? You hit the million, which we may talk about this in a separate video. That million may have been guaranteed. Not entirely sure about that.
What you mean
but
by that,
he hit
though?
the million, he hit the goal, and he knew, like, okay, you can't go up from here. There is nothing else that he could do for a subathon that would make it more grand, make it more spectacular, and have an incentive, maybe like an uncapped subathon or something like that, where people can like see how long there is other things that you could do, but in terms of grand and celebrity and big, there isn't. But there are other things, like, for example, like survival or an uncapped subathon. But what incentive is there for a Kai Cenat to do an uncapped subathon? He's the events guy. He's not the I'm gonna stream more than everyone else guy, and he's even talked about that in the past. So I do think he has changed the subathon to be known more as like this month-long or fixed event where it's corporate and there are these big events and big guests expected. But
so in a way, you're saying that like it's not as authentic as it was before. So now that people are watching it, they're looking at it like, damn, I have to do X, Y, and Z to just make a good subathon. But you just said that the million kind of probably could have been guaranteed. Thinking about that, that might be true. So no matter what would have happened, he'd have got the mill. But other people as the viewer don't see it like that. They just see like, damn, LeBron's here, this is here, this is here, this person's here, Kim's here, Ray J's here, this. So they just seeing shit, and now they like, damn, I gotta come out the gate swinging. I see what you're saying now.
That doesn't mean that the traditional subathon is still not a thing. Like I said, like that girl, Emily CC, that is another level of dedication to stream. Been streaming since how long? It's a 24/7 stream. Like giving that much of yourself to entertainment is, I wouldn't say I envy it, but I have such a level of admiration for somebody that can do something like that. But